Hey AfterBuzzers, we're back with more Pretty Little Liars. It's season 7, episode 12. These boots were made for stalking. Stay tuned.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AfterBuzz TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
Hey guys, we're back for week 2 of this final season of Pretty Little Liars.
Oh, here, our music caught up with us.
Yeah, I like it. We're
Taking
good.
this one to the grave, and to show you that I know you won't tell what I say, 'cause two can keep a secret.
One of them is dead.
Got a secret.
Hannah wasn't here today to mess that up for us.
I think I kind of messed up the I was getting too cocky because last week I got it so great, and I think I just screwed it up this week.
Well, we're gonna keep going with
Take it down a notch.
But as I mentioned, it is this episode 2 of the final season of Pretty Little Liars. Can't believe we're finally
my
here.
Gosh, I know.
So crazy. Before we get into the episode, I'm Stephanie Wenger, and you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Stephanie Wenger. And
What is up, guys? I'm Dakota T Jones, and you can find me on Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube at Mr. Dakota T Jones.
And I'm Kristin Strange, and you can find me at Kristin_Strange basically everywhere.
And Hannah will be back with us next week. And in the interim, if you're feeling like you want to weigh in, we'll have the live chat up, and we'll be taking your comments. And you can always use the hashtag ABTVPLL
Yes.
On all social media. We look at everything. We love commenting back. So tell us your theories. So let's jump into this episode. I think we're going to start with my personal favorite couple, but it's going nowhere good for them at this point. Arya, Ezra, and Holden in this weird, Nicole's in the mix. We've got like a love square going on.
Ian wasn't even in the episode this episode.
Yeah.
Like, that's scary to me.
That is scary, and especially for the fact that I think that someone said at one point one relationship's not going to work out. And I'm really wondering if that's going to be the one, because it's kind of scary.
It's like where we started on the show. Like if you think back to the pilot.
I do want to say one thing that someone just mentioned, because I was just mentioning it to you and I don't want to forget. So JoJo said, aren't we supposed to be getting answers every episode? And we were literally just talking about that right before we came in here. We were saying, I thought that this was supposed to be a big reveal every single episode. They said was supposed to be you were going to be like, every 10 episodes.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, last week was kind of a big deal with the whole Mary Drake thing.
Yeah, but we already knew that. It just was like confirmed.
Well,
and I
that's
feel
true.
like there's nothing that I've gotten out of the last 2 episodes that's made me be like, oh, that's information that I needed and didn't have.
So you don't think anything was really revealed to us this episode?
Nothing, or last episode. I don't think anything big enough for them to say, we're going to give you a big reveal every episode. Like, they haven't lived up to that.
I agree with you on that. I want more. I think that these are some of the best episodes we've had in a while of Pretty Little Liars. I will say that. Like, I think we are getting to the answers. Like, I feel like we're like on the trail now for a long time.
We've said
But I
this
also
for
feel we're
years.
getting more questions too. So
Yeah.
I'm kind of angry. Like, I don't mind if you're going to play the same game that we've been on for the past 7 years or whatever, but it's kind of upsetting that they would be like, oh, we're going to give you answers every single episode. This is going to be a great thing. And then I don't have anything.
I do
I'm
understand.
not
Fulfilled.
Yes, that is our word of the week, guys. But I feel like, this is the first time in seasons that I felt like we are like getting to the answers. It's
Well, we have to. There's only 8 episodes left.
Right. So they're like, for a long time, I just felt like we were getting question after question after question. And now we're starting to see these girls confront the people who have been awful to them. And that's an exciting place to be.
Yeah, and season 3 and 4, it's like, you're not going to get any answers because you're like, well, they want to have another season. They want to have another season. So you know that they're going to keep coming. So I guess there is that little knowledge of knowing that this is ending. So we have to get everything.
Exactly. But I don't know. There's part of me that feels like, you know how they always act like they're going to give us something big, and then at the very end, something huge happens. I would be so mad if at the end of this, there was some kind of a twinge where it's like, oh, but you don't know if it's over yet, or oh, why did we get this note from this random person called A-B or A-F?
Or B.
Yeah, and I'm
we'll
like,
just start going,
oh,
this is
my
now B.
gosh. If they did that to me, I would be livid.
I mean,
I don't think that's going to happen. At least I like want to have more hope, but that's not where we're going.
Well, I think the thing that would annoy me most, and I'm assuming this is what you mean, is like at the end they get a note from somebody and it's like, hey,
this isn't over.
Like, this isn't over. Like, hey, now you're getting a note from B. And like it starts all over again for them. I just want them to have an ending of sorts.
I know.
Yeah.
Especially, I want them to be able to move on and maybe get out of Rosewood and have lives, and I want it to be finished. And I don't want to. I want it to feel like, okay, it's done. I can move on with my life. Like, I've spent so many years with this. I want it to be okay.
Yeah.
You know, I want to be fulfilled, and then I want to let it go.
Yeah.
But if it does this thing where at the end, like, oh, well, you don't know this happened, and I'm like, are you kidding me? I'm gonna be like, now we're never gonna know anything. So we watch all of this, and then there's still not.
I've wasted the last 7 years of my life.
Yeah. Well, Kristin knows this. I've been saying this for so long. If it is somebody in the inner circle, if it's somebody
It has to be.
If it's someone in the inner circle, though, I'm going to need. We know at this
Knowledge as far as who.
I know this is a spoiler, so just for a moment, but we do find out that A is revealed before this final episode.
Right.
If it is someone in their inner circle, I'm going to need the how, the when, all of it, how they did it, because it's crazy that they were controlling all of this when we were
flashbacks.
Yeah. So I'm going to need big explanations, and I hope that that's one of the reasons why A is we're getting before the final episode.
I interrupted you when you were talking about Ezra, though. So
No,
let's go back to
I was just about to swing back to
I
that.
definitely want to talk about it.
Yeah, so let's talk about, I think it's really interesting. We start the episode with this reporter coming up to Arya and claiming that he's looking for Ezra and Nicole, who he claims is his fiance. And Arya is visibly upset, obviously, and says, like, no, I'm his fiance. And then you see her kind of unravel. I felt like a lot of this episode was Arya, like, internally unraveling in many ways over this like ongoing thing he has with Nicole.
And she's almost in a love triangle that she didn't like know she was even entering.
Yeah.
You know, like suddenly she's in this love triangle that kind of like was dropped on her when she just thought that everything was going to be smooth sailing finally.
I know. She
Like,
thought,
oh, we're
I'm gonna get
engaged.
married.
We passed everything. Like, the worst is behind us. Just kidding, girl.
Just kidding. And I really thought that reporter was gonna. I mean, that would have been an awesome story if he could have just twisted it. He
Well,
ends
I
up
think he might still.
You think so?
I think that if he writes the story and releases it and then Nicole reads it, like, that might be the way that it all gets discovered by her. And because obviously Ezra doesn't have the guts to bring it up.
I know, because that reporter heard what happened, and then he reported that, oh, okay, the fiance and everyone's reunited, and Arya saw that.
Was that the same paper, though? Was that...
I think so.
Yeah.
But the thing is I'm wanting, I mean, I know I don't want to put bad things upon Arya, but I think it would be a really good storyline if the guy was like, oh, and guess what? I saw her here, and she told me this. And, like, Ezra would be like, why the heck did you go into the press talking about this? Like, it's none of your business, you know?
Yeah, what I'm interested in is why they I mean, like, I know that the girl is missing, then she was found, but this seems to be, like, she was getting a breaking news update on her phone about...
She set Google alerts.
Yeah, like, it was really interesting that, like, it was clearly...
Maybe, like, as far as locally,
Yeah.
maybe her disappearance locally was really well known.
Yeah.
So that's why it's, like, breaking news for their area. You know, like if something happens in different little pockets.
And why do we think Arya decided to go see Nicole at the treatment center?
I would.
I mean, I think honestly she was just wanting to bring that. She's wanting to salt taffy, not to give it to her, but to be salty and say, hey, look, this is my man. He didn't tell you, but I just want you to know that this is us right now, and like you need to kind of take a back seat, and I just wanted you to know, type of a thing. I don't think she was going to be aggressive, but I think she was going to go in there and kind of get her point across.
And I'm mad at Ezra for not telling Nicole. At this point, it's like, I get that not being the first thing you say to her, like, oh, you're here, I'm engaged to Arya. Like, obviously, we don't expect you to blurt it out right away. But she's been home for, I mean, a solid period of time. Not a long time, but long enough. After a couple days, it's like, okay, you need to tell her that you're engaged. It shouldn't be like, oh, we're waiting for her to get better and this and that. Like,
yeah, no. At some point, there are no more excuses.
Yeah, there's a catching up period, and that would be something like I'm sure she's asked him like, oh, what have you been up to? I got engaged. That's what happened.
That's exactly it. Like, time has passed. I got engaged.
Right.
But I was really proud, as crazy as it is to go to her treatment center. I was proud of Arya in some ways. All of these girls, actually, tonight, across the board, really standing up for themselves. Because we've seen them not do a great job at that at some points in the past. And she was trying to. And, of course, Holden comes in before she can get into the treatment center. Sorry, just reading some comments.
Oh, yeah. Jimmy Pink says, Ezra is shady, mark my words. And Olivia says, Team Holden or Team Jason, ...
Wow. All right. Well,
you know, I thought Holden was really sexy this episode. There was something about him chopping that food.
Oh my gosh.
Maybe it's just because I like the
Kristin.
idea that he was cooking.
I think you have a crush on all the PLL men. Like, it's collectively, like...
Am I the only one?
I just want to know, like,
love it.
why is he part of the story now? I mean, hopefully he has some kind of tie.
I think I get it. Like, especially at the end, you know, where he was really a voice for her to be like, look at that diamond, and his whole whatever about how a diamond takes millions of years to form from carbon, and like give Ezra time. He's dealing and processing, and he might not do it at the same speed as you. Just like give him a week or two, like let him adjust. I thought that was really important. So I think that's Holden's point.
Okay.
It's just being there, being a friend, to be the voice, to
So
be
you think
like.
he's just a friend?
Well,
I do. And even when she like laid on his shoulder, that seemed friendly to me. Like he was there to comfort her.
I totally disagree with that.
Yeah.
I was like on board with like the friendship sounding board. Like she needed somebody and he was there for her in that moment. And I got that, and I was like, okay, like that's his role in this. And then when she put her head on his shoulder, I was like, oh, this is now in a gray zone.
But
Yeah.
I feel like you're like, if that had been Hannah there saying those same things, and then Arya had been like, oh, let me put your head on,
but
you
it's
would
not.
you would never expect
it's
that.
not
I know,
Hannah.
but like I don't feel like I didn't get that vibe from them. And if they are gonna go that direction, then they have no chemistry, so they shouldn't.
I know. I'm like, they don't have chemistry.
That's why I just think that he's trying to be there, be a good friend, like someone that she's connected to from her past, that's like knows her history with Ezra and is willing. All of her friends are kind of caught up in their own drama right now.
Yeah.
Right.
So she needs someone outside to be like, I've had a normal life. Let me tell you, like he's dealing. Just be there, and like he's supporting her and like encouraging her in this relationship. I think so.
Yeah. A lot of people are saying, obviously, that Lucy did say that Arya is going to be dark this season, or these last 10 episodes. Paul wants Arya to get dark, and then someone else in the chat was saying that Naturaliste Lover says Arya is going to go down a dark path because of AD. So all of these things are going to be maybe because of him, and she's going to go down a dark path.
Maybe she's gonna try more to like break them up.
I don't know. I feel like maybe Ezra is A, guys. Or AD.
That would be the worst. That would be the worst for me.
It would make
personally,
sense.
for me, no, I understand, like, logically, he's a real possibility. I'm not taking away that.
It's him.
I just, like, personally, for me, it would be a really rough ending.
We already saw he was sketchy.
I don't think they would do that just because they've already done that Ezra as A reveal. So it's like, why
do it again?
Why do it again? Then you're just repeating old storylines. Like that's. Do you have no more
That's true.
creativity?
Yeah, I agree with you, but I want to move on to talk about Caleb, who is so supportive of Hannah, and there is so much AD drama going on with Hannah right now.
They totally cut Caleb. Like the only thing he's there to do now is be like, Hannah, you're amazing. Hannah, you're great. Let me be there for you, Hannah. Like he has no storyline of his own.
I know. And
He's just her little puppy
and he's
dog.
such a talented actor. You want more for him, but I do like that they're showing this like stable relation. They now seem to be relatively stable. Keep you posted in the episodes to come, but right now, stable. And I like that he's like in her corner, always has her back.
Yeah, I mean that's always been his personality. Yeah, I've got her.
But what do you think about the dress? I feel like we are like, this is dress drama, like
dress drama. I don't know, because it's one of those things. I'm not really sure where they're gonna go with this, because obviously she's tried to call her old boss to see if she's able to use the belt or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't understand why she was trying to call her like, hey, you gave me these pointers. Can I use them? What's her boss gonna do? Go into the press and be like, I gave her those ideas. Who's gonna believe you?
I mean, honestly, I would say
that's what happens when you work as an assistant for someone. They train you and help you, and then you branch out on your own and make your own company. Like that's normal, especially in the fashion industry.
Yeah,
most designers have worked for
I
somebody
agree
else
with that.
at some point.
And I feel like a lot of people think, oh well, she'll never know. Like she's not gonna see the photo and put two and two together. But when you think about it, AD is gonna put it in a nice little envelope package and then send it to her, with a nice little letter.
then we have Jenna, who's in like the, I guess like white version of this same dress. And Jenna, I have to say, for a long time I said she was in the gray zone for me, and she is, I'm thinking, more evil than good at this point.
Jenna.
Gosh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
she's always been like a capital B word, but
yeah.
I don't think that she was ever evil until now. I'm like, yeah, you're really.
She is evil, and her little dramatics and her little like sob story that she gave. Oh,
We
this
were-
is why I did this.
We were all talking, like, everybody just lets her walk away when she's like, I'm leaving. Like, nobody's like grabbing her
I
or like
know.
stopping her cane. Like, there's ways
Caleb
to
was like,
stop her. Why do you guys just keep letting her get away?
It's like,
he was the
okay.
first one that like held it down. Like, listen to me.
Right? Is it like
Someone-
okay because she's blind we're gonna let her go?
Yeah.
Like no, if someone is evil to me and I
Blind
have
or
reason
not.
to believe that they're behind everything and I go up to them and they try to say, well I've got to go, I have an Uber. I'll be like, girl, you can cancel that Uber.
Yeah. Your
Like-
Uber can wait.
And I'll grab your stick, I'll break it in half. Like
Yeah, I
this
mean,
sounds
yeah.
really mean, but you know what I'm saying? Like she's insane.
it's just one of those things where I
Yeah.
like
blind
Caleb
people.
tried to yes, to confront to confront her, and I just feel like we're not getting answers from her. She's being so cagey. And we still don't know, by the way, if she's blind or not at this
Yeah.
point. Like, people are assuming she's blind, but I feel like this has been something that has come up on Twitter time and time again.
I could never figure out when she's been blind and when she's
she
not
hasn't.
been
Right.
blind.
So, so the chat, if you're listening to us, please tell us
Yeah.
if you know that she's blind or not blind, what's going on, because I've lost track of it, honestly. And while you're online, you can go on YouTube or iTunes, rate, comment, let us know what you're thinking. There are so many fan theories. As we mentioned, 8 more episodes to go.
Ugh.
It's super easy. Give us your rating, and we love actually hearing from you too, so please let us know what you're thinking. And
Definitely. Olivia in the chat says, Jenna can see, I'm telling you. And then Naturalisty Lover says, yes, she can. Biatch can see.
it's getting intense, guys.
I don't know.
It's getting real intense.
I don't know. She's so good at like smelling and like doing these certain things where she's like, Spencer, I can tell by the way you breathed. I'm like,
I'm
how
not
does
yet-
that work?
I've heard that when you lose your sight, like other senses,
Are
you know,
heightened.
are heightened, but not to the point where you're like, yes, I can smell you. Like
mean-
I've never heard of a person. It's like a dog thing. Like dogs can smell people.
The smelling thing I kind of understand. The
Really,
whole-
you think that you could tell who someone is by their scent?
Yeah.
Like she has memorized every single person in this town's scent enough
Well,
to know.
I don't know about that, but I do know that I feel like the
Also-
whole like the breathing thing. I can hear her breathing. Hi, Spencer. I'm like,
You don't know from her breathing. Everybody breathes.
I'm
and
impressed.
also, like, it's not like she's been around these girls enough to be like, oh, yes, that's Hannah's scent, that's so-and-so scent. It's not like it's, like, someone that she lived with or
Right.
hangs out with all the time. How do you know from a few chance encounters what someone smells like?
I mean, that was
That's
one of
something
those,
you have to associate.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I guess, like, your other senses get stronger, maybe?
Yeah,
I don't
but
know.
not that strong.
Yeah.
She's not a superhero.
right.
Yeah.
Jimmy Pink says, we've all decided in the chat, Jenna can see. She's faking.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm glad we have
Thanks,
a
guys.
consensus
Yeah.
in the chat. That's great. But let's talk about more drama here. This was a surprising storyline to me, actually. This Emily,
my.
like being accused of sexual harassment, I guess, from a student, from Addison. Really a dark way to go.
Dark.
Yeah, and so she overhears.
That's totally something Allison would do, though.
Yeah.
That's like a very something that Allison would have done.
See, I think it's new because we're like, oh, like she's gonna say a girl's a sexual predator, but then Allie would have been like said a guy was, and we wouldn't have thought
Yeah.
twice about it. But it's just different because it's a girl accusing
And
a
because
girl.
it's like Emily, and we are like, she's so cute and innocent.
I know, so we're like, oh, this is dark, but I'm pretty sure Allie has probably framed someone in the past
Yeah.
for being sick too.
Right, but I just felt like the way she was doing it was so like
Sketch.
malicious. Like it was absolutely just like, I'm going to get her fired. And
Right.
She definitely had like resting bitch face all the time.
Yeah.
And she has that like those mean girl eyes. It's like she's a very good mean girl.
Oh, I know. I loved seeing Emily being so emotional though, and like whenever she was like, and then she's gonna get off the bus 3 stops early and walk home. I was like, oh my gosh, it's so sad. Like you're still affected by the way people treated you, you know, as a kid.
yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, you can see Emily. I feel like that's actually been a big thing in these last week and this week. We saw Emily starting to open up. For a long
Yeah.
time, she was very closed off, and like understandably so from what she's been through. But she's finally, like last week, she says to Allison, like, tell me what you want. And then this week, we're getting her like understanding of like that the past was not easy for her.
You guys, Jimmy in the chat, I love you, Jimmy. You've gotten some great insight today. That little heifa's initials was AD too. Addison something or other. It was AD.
Oh.
Which obviously they're not gonna have her be AD.
Yeah.
But like that's really funny.
That's a crazy.
They probably did that on purpose
Oh,
just
yeah.
to be like, oh, we're gonna lead people
Yeah.
all
Yeah.
these ways.
If it was her, I'd be like, girl, where you been?
Yeah.
You were back in elementary, back in
Yeah.
primary.
She was like she was a kid.
What are you doing
A
here?
really smart kid.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I was like, this show's been around for.
Maybe she's one of the liar's children.
Oh wow.
No,
yeah.
she
would've been
wouldn't be.
really, really
Yeah,
cool.
they would have been
They'd
like 10.
3 or 4 years old.
Yeah, no, that's something to think about for sure. I don't think it's gonna be her necessarily, but she's also evil though. I mean, like she really is like beyond high school mean. Like she took it to another level.
Well, I think that her point in the whole series is just to kind of like be there and be like, remember how bad you were, Allison? This is you.
Yeah.
And just to and also to make Allison question like, oh my God, I was a terrible kid. What if my kid's like that?
Yeah. Which we'll get into Allison's pregnancy in a second here. But I do want to tell you about a really cool store that, basically it's a new program from Dermstore, and it's called Glow. And it's an online retailer where they carefully select skincare and beauty products. They want to help you look and feel your best. And if you're anything like me, you love that. Like, I'm all about trying new products and finding things that are super effective. So Dermstore carries tens of thousands of products, which is great, but it can be a little overwhelming. So this new program called Glow eliminates the need for that endless searching and trial and error. I know I've been there where you get a product and you're like, this does not work. It doesn't work for me. It's so
you can't
frustrating.
return it.
So frustrating, right? And it's like you use it once and you're like, does anyone? It's annoying, but Glow is there to help you, and it's super easy to use. So whether you're worried about wrinkles, acne, dry skin, redness, anything, sensitive skin, it's a great way to find new products. So you start with a quiz with your age, skin type, skin concerns, lifestyle. So it's a really personalized way to get skincare help. It only takes a couple minutes, and it's expertly curated regimes, so that's awesome too. It's chosen just for you, and includes 3 full-size products that complement you. So,
oh my gosh.
Gotta get something for all my wrinkles.
See, I gotta get something for my blackheads on my nose.
Well, before you do that, visit glow.com, GLOW.com, to take the quiz. And
there is other ways to spell glow.
Right,
So
I wanted to double check and take the quiz. Save up to 30% on your skincare chosen just for you. So that's super awesome.
I heard about this yesterday on one of the other after shows. I have to do this because
Yeah.
I wanna find out exactly what's going on with the nose area and figure it out because I don't have blackheads anywhere else, and it's like, why is it on my nose?
Comment on the nose.
Glow will be able to help me.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like we're all logging on.
Yeah.
So
I'm like, what's the website again?
yeah, exactly.
I'm like getting up there in years now, so I'm getting worried that I need to start like preventing wrinkles now.
So we gotta check it
I
out.
feel like this is like girls' night, a great activity for girls'
So I
night.
can look
Hey,
as
what
great
about
as
me?
these like 30-year-olds that are playing 22-year-olds.
That's true.
Yes,
There you go.
absolutely. All right, so let's jump back to Pretty Little Liars and talk about Allison's pregnancy. She's still not sure what she's gonna do. That seems to be what she's really upset about, because she does see this reflection of good and evil in her students and who she was. What do you guys think?
I think her kid's gonna be really bitter and mean, and I hate to say that, but like, I mean, you're a product of who you're from, and like,
Exactly.
the
I think
father
it's
was
part of how you
insane.
raise, who you
Allie's been really mean and hateful, and still seems to show some of those traits.
Sorry.
So I just hate to see that. I'm like, I mean, not to say that a good kid can't come from 2 bad seeds, but I'm not saying Allie's fully a bad seed, but she's got major problems and she still has
She would
hatred
need
in
to
her heart.
change.
She's still mean.
But also, sometimes like a kid does change you like that, you know,
That's true.
like her having a baby and realizing that life isn't all about her and there's something else out there, and like she's fully dedicating her life to a child might be the change that she needs, and enough of a push is just for her to be like, I don't want my kid to end up like I did.
Yeah.
You know, so that might be a good actually like way for her to evolve as a human.
I could see it. I hope so. I mean, I hope so for her sake, because it's at the point where I'm like, okay, yeah, we have 8 episodes left now, and you got to get your stuff together, Allie.
Yeah.
Like, you know, we've hung on
Right.
for so many years.
Yeah.
You've had the same thing over and over. You know, you want to be good, but then you're mean. and it's like, where are we gonna figure this out? You know, we got 8 episodes left. Let's get it together.
Yeah, like I'm ready just for answers at this point. That's where I'm at, and I feel like we've got 8 more episodes, and I'm hoping that each one of them like really does lead to this AD reveal.
Yeah,
like that's what I'm ready for.
Watch what happens. This is gonna happen, guys. Not gonna happen, but it'd be hilarious. At the very end, we don't know who AD is, and it's like feature
like,
film,
psych.
feature film coming soon this summer, and it's gonna be a movie.
I would both love and hate that. So I would love a Pretty Little Liars film, and like I know it's been teased for a long time.
Yeah.
But I am super ready for that answer.
I think isn't the finale 2 hours long?
I think.
Oh,
so.
I heard about that.
So
Yeah.
it's basically a movie.
It basically is.
Yeah.
So let's talk about Spencer's family drama. This was a big reveal, as we mentioned in last week's episode. Mary Drake is, of course, her mother. And she's kind of still dealing with the repercussions of finding that out and all the lies that have been told to her over the years.
Yeah, and her family's home is getting ready to sell, and she acts like it's not a big deal, but it's obviously affecting her. But she's like, well, this place has no meaning to me anymore. It's all changed now because of, you're not my real mom, and dad's kind of a hoe,
Her mom is really trying to, though. She seemed to do a good job of being like, you are my daughter, like, and she did a really good thing. Her mom is on like a whole nother level of being a good person. Like being able to raise your husband's mistress's child, that's mind-boggling to me. Like,
and love her like it's
as your
own.
own. Like the fact that she could put away all her, emotional and issues about that and just like raise this great kid. It's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I think that I'm interested in what the selling the house means.
I think they need a fresh start, you know, because now that place is all
tainted.
The like crap from the past, and her dad's multiple affairs and all of this, and I still don't understand why they're married. Obviously,
no, I don't.
Her mom would be better off without him, but.
And Peter's still like away, like come back and face the problems like a man.
Politically, she's probably like they're probably staying married for like like Hillary Clinton and Bill Clinton.
I wasn't gonna say it, but you nailed it.
Yeah, I mean it's interesting that that's where they are, and I'm interested. Spencer says she can no longer work for her mom in the episode, and where that leaves us. What's Spencer's next step? Because Spencer's kind of always, I feel like, been in this like political stuff.
Yeah.
And where does that take her?
Billie Jean Girl 24. I love you so much. She said Spencer's dad is more like a man whore.
Oh no.
I mean,
I'm not gonna say your comment, Michelle A, but
oh my gosh, Michelle A.
Oh wow.
I just want to pass around birth control to the whole Hastings family.
Yeah, I mean, and we have actually a fan theory about
Hastings.
Yeah, it actually was covered in, I don't want to take full credit for it, it was covered in Teen Vogue, and they are talking about how, so Bethany Young, so Spencer's twin sister is, could be there could be a twin to Spencer.
Oh please,
and
no.
that could be the Uber A of it all.
You think so?
I've read about that, or like theories like that, especially too because she, that doctor says that doctor that they visited a couple while back when they were thinking about Mary Drake, they were saying, oh yeah, I delivered a couple of Mary's babies. So you know how many
a sister.
A few, yeah. So obviously she delivered Charlotte and Spencer.
Yeah.
Maybe there was a twin to Spencer. Also, like people were pointing out that Spencer had that dream about like the girl where Maddie Z from Dance Moms dance. Maybe that was like maybe her sister was in Radley.
Yeah, I mean,
maybe.
I think it's all. What I'm starting to think is that all of this ties back to Radley. Like,
and one more thing, when Hannah was in the barn, when she was like caught, they were saying that like she, how Spencer came to her in a dream. Number one, Spencer, weird, like of all of, not right, but like of all of them, why her? And she was saying things that I guess like hadn't been revealed to us as the general public. So she was like saying things that like only like Spencer's twin could possibly know. I don't remember what exactly it was. I'd have to read it. But like she was, I guess, and she was singing a song that gets played later on. or that like gets revealed later on as there. So
you know, the only weird thing is I feel like if they would have had this twin thing, they should have not made Mary Drake and Mrs. De Laurentiis like twins, because there can only, I feel like we've already been introduced to like 2 or 3 sets of twins in this show.
But obviously, like that makes sense because twins would run in their family. If they're identical twins and she gave birth to an identical twin, like
Do
that.
twins run in the family?
Yeah,
usually?
well, identical. So she would have to be, Spencer would have to be identical twins too. No,
Wait,
normally
that's a thing?
I think pretty often they skip a generation, but like you being a twin makes you more likely to give birth.
No
like I
way.
probably would never have twins because I don't have twins anywhere in my family. But
Me
if you
neither.
have twins genetically, like your sister or your brother, then you're more
Wow, I
likely
didn't know that.
identical. Fraternal is just a different thing. So if
Different
they're
thing,
yeah,
yeah.
but like if they're 100% like same egg,
Wow.
it runs in your
Yeah.
family. So it's not crazy to think that we would have multiple sets of them if they're all from the same line of families.
I don't know if I'd want a twin or if I just want it to be Spencer or I want
Yeah.
it to be Arya.
So it could potentially, I guess, then Spencer could have a twin, or Allie, like in the books, could have a twin because her mom was a twin too.
I guess a question that
Or
I have,
Allie could have twins.
when I was doing the
Yeah.
research on this theory, what do you think? Do you think that we'll be introduced, if there is a twin, will we be introduced to her before the end of the season? Like, so we're getting the answer of who AD is in these final few episodes, right? So will we be introduced to her before that reveal, if that is the case?
Oh my gosh,
I
I
don't
have no
know.
clue. But if they do this to us and they like reveal AD as the screen is about to fade black on the very, very last thing, and we don't like, we see the face, but we don't get any like confirmation or answers, and it's just like, oh, here's AD, and then that's it. Like, I hope it's revealed beforehand, and then the other episodes or episode or two are just answer questions. Because if we just see AD's face and then the screen goes black, I'm gonna be like,
Well, I
can't do it.
I always think back to, I will not reveal if you have not watched Gossip Girl, the end to Gossip Girl, but when we get who
If
Gossip
you haven't watched it, then you can reveal it. It's fine.
it's been years, but if you're somehow not caught up, so I feel like that's what I at least want from this show, but probably even more, is that at the end of Gossip Girl, you get the reveal of who that is,
And
and then
information.
there's like, oh, how this person accomplished that, and it's like a 5-minute explanation of that,
Yeah.
and I'm going to need that from this show.
That was
I'm gonna need
fulfilling.
more than
Yeah.
5 minutes. Yeah, I'm gonna need more than 5 minutes. And quick little thing is, I actually just watched the pilot of Gossip Girl the other day for the first time. I've never seen any of the other episodes.
You should watch it. So good.
That's such a side note, but yeah, it's phenomenal. It's a good show.
Oh, one other thing I want to say about the Spencer theory, though.
Yeah.
Because Spencer, I guess, Torian doesn't have bangs, and they put bangs on Spencer after the time jump, which
Right.
is like weird. So people were saying that maybe that's like why, to like distinguish her from her twin, they put bangs on Spencer, which it would have been easier to put bangs on the twin. But but
Fair
I,
point.
I feel like, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, I don't know about this, but I feel like maybe in the dream, Hannah's Spencer didn't have bangs.
Yeah, interesting.
Maybe they just thought she looked smarter too. I don't know.
I'm like interested
Or
now.
older.
I'm like really trying to think now. I'm like,
I remember as I was pulling news and gossip, they say that once you find out who it is, you'll be able to like go back to previous episodes and you'll be able to get more information
Yeah.
like from it. Like it will all.
They just want us to rewatch the whole series again.
You're like selfishly they want to
Yeah.
know, but like there will be points in these episodes where you'll have been able to see clues to this, which
Yeah.
will be interesting.
that will be interesting. Paul in the chat says they said we will know who AD is the first 5 minutes of the finale.
Okay.
I hope so.
Yeah.
Paul, I hope so. And if not, I'm gonna be mad.
Yeah. Really upset. But yeah, I think for me at this point, my real hope is there's resolution in any way possible.
Fulfillment, if you will.
Fulfillment. I was trying to get another word in there, but sure.
Let's just go with
Fulfillment.
that.
Yeah.
Hashtag fulfilled.
Yeah, exactly. I think that I want for these characters to like have their story told, and it's fine if in a few years they come out with a movie, like great, and they're telling another story, but I want this chapter to be closed.
Yeah, definitely.
I don't think that they would do, I don't know, maybe like Sex in the City, like do a chapter, or a movie, but I can't see these actors signing on for a movie.
No, I feel like Troyan wouldn't sign on. I don't think she'd sign on.
She's very too creative now.
She's past it. I think she's done with it.
Yeah, I mean it's interesting because this is a show
I think most of them are.
It's very much very much a launching pad for all of them. Yeah, and like I think what they do next, and we'll definitely get into that in the episodes to come of this show, of what their next chapters look like. But yeah, I think they're ready for new projects.
Yeah, I think they're all kind of, Shay started doing movies more. Yeah. Like she was in Mother's Day, and like I think that they're all, and Troyan has done a million movies.
Films and stuff, yeah.
Yeah, and so I think that they're all trying to kind of like move on. So I can't see them being like, yeah, let's do a movie and commit to, 6 more months of this.
No, I know. I don't know
because it's like, it's like time, especially too, because they're all getting older. So it's like, this was great for them when they were 19. But now that they're adults, and
I wouldn't
nearing 30,
put it past Pretty Little Liars writers to be able to come up with something that's unique and cool and fits their new age. But I think it really depends on,
because I guess their audience is older too. Yeah, we've all grown up with them too. So
where their careers go and all of that. I think that's an answer to be determined. But I agree. Right now, they're ready for something now. Let's get into news and gossip just a little bit.
AfterBuzz TV News.
A little bit. A little bit. Pretty Little Liars creator Marlene King did such an interesting podcast interview with Variety's TV podcast, Remote Controlled. And once you're finished watching our podcast, please go over and check that out. It's awesome. She talks about basically how all these girls got started and the first auditions of Pretty Little Liars. It's much like the article that we posted last week about kind of their experiences, the oral history of Pretty Little Liars, but she really gets into how Ashley Benson came to our audition crying. Lucy didn't have to audition, and
really,
like because she had the largest following out of the girls at the time, and Shay wasn't the first choice to play Emily, so kind of gets into the backstory of Pretty Little Liars.
That's scary. I wouldn't want them to know that. If like I was Shay, I wouldn't want that out there. Like, so they initially didn't pick me. But guess what? They got stuck.
I mean, but it all worked out for her in the end.
I mean, she's got like 45 million followers.
She's got
and it's so fun to hear kind of the initial impressions of these girls. Sasha, of course, was so young when the show started because she really didn't become a bigger part of the show until much later. I think in season 4-ish. Correct me if I'm wrong. But she started when she was 12 on the show. So
crazy.
I know, that is so crazy.
Yeah, I mean, so many good and fun things to hear about the show. Again, that's a TV podcast called Remote Controlled from Variety, and it's Marlene King's interview.
That's so fun.
Yeah, it's great. Let's jump into predictions.
I feel like that's all we've been doing this whole time is predicting.
I know. Guys, we're going to have to dig deep today.
Oh my gosh, these lights are like really affecting me today.
They seem brighter.
Yeah, it's intense in here.
Oh my gosh, I have a seizure.
So, any big ones that you want to jump into?
What about you? Do you have any?
I gave all of the predictions last time, so somebody else needs to start.
Kayla Wynn in the chat says, I heard the audience finds out a full episode before The Liars who AD is, and I would love that.
That would be amazing.
Can we please?
I like that.
I like to know things.
Yeah, me too. And I think it would be fun for the audience to be in the know and to have the liars still figuring out how they discover it.
Because we usually find out everything with them, so it's going to be like, now I've got a secret, and I'm going to keep it.
I do want to talk about the puzzle. That we still have this board game, this Endgame, if you will, and they're starting to realize that it's Rosewood. We'll get into this as a prediction a little bit, and we get the second puzzle piece tonight. And it looked like there were, correct me if I'm wrong, spaces for 10 puzzle pieces.
So 8 more.
Yeah, I think there's 8 more.
8 more.
With the 8 episodes.
Yeah, so by the end, does the puzzle reveal it all?
I mean, the puzzle I thought was going to reveal who AD was, but now it's just going to reveal a map. Maybe it'll have like a location circled or something.
Yeah, they'll get like
they'll go there.
Yeah.
And then,
Yeah.
then AD will be there and be like, what's up?
I also wonder, because didn't it have like
You finished the
a
game.
a cell phone last week? So I wonder if it, like, once you put the puzzle together, does that activate something in
It
like,
shows the
Yeah,
face.
maybe.
yeah.
Can you
This
imagine?
is so high tech.
Oh my gosh, I have a
You
big
have to be
prediction.
like a coder to do
Yeah.
this, like code apps.
Yes. And that leads into my prediction. Someone in the chat last week and also on Instagram, I saw there was a side-by-side thing that said Lucas, and it said, I'm an app developer now. I'm a tech and
Good
I'm into
point,
an app
yeah.
developer now. And then it showed a picture of like the app and like the game.
But like, why? Like, why would he? I don't know. Like,
I don't know, but it makes sense.
He's done what like every high school nerd wants. Is like he's gone and like made this huge career that makes everybody love him, and he's got all this
Yeah.
money to buy all the things that he wants. Like,
But he's
Which would
always
make
been
sense.
on the suspect list.
yeah,
Right.
but like why? Like you've done exactly
He's
what you
always-
want. Like your success is enough revenge on
Right,
everybody.
but I think like, yes, I agree with you. Ultimately, like in real life, that would be
Yeah.
enough.
Yeah,
but
no, this isn't real life.
he never felt accepted by these girls. So now he has the technology and the means
Yeah.
to do
Right.
it.
He has a lot of money, which is why he can get the little doll so detailed and all the
Yeah.
little things and like spend
That's
money
true.
on
That's
everything.
money.
Yeah.
I can see it.
I don't know. It's an
Maybe
interesting
there's
thing.
something that we didn't find out. Like maybe he like came on to Hannah after she broke up with
Possibility.
Caleb, and like he thought, oh, now that I'm so successful, she's gonna want me, and she like turned him down and like friend zoned him again, and then got engaged to Jordan, right? That was his name.
Yeah.
And so maybe this is him being like, I did everything I was supposed to do to like make her love me. Like I made money and had a career and I'm successful, and now she still like doesn't love me, and that was enough to like send him off onto a rage.
I can see it.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a lot of possibilities here, which leads me, I guess, to the final point, which is that if you have a suspect that you're thinking it is, we would love to hear from you
Yes,
and
please.
tell us. We want to start getting a suspect list going that we can discuss every week, because I feel like at this point we could point a finger at virtually anyone. So let us know who you're thinking. Use the hashtag ABTVPLL. Again, we read, love your comments. And we'll be back next week to talk about episode 13. Until then, you can find AfterBuzz at AfterBuzz TV on Twitter and Instagram, and me at Stephanie Wenger.
And you guys can find me on Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube at Mr. Dakota T. Jones and my new talk show on the Popcorn Talk Network titled Millennial Hollywood.
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Kristin_Strange and at clothingendcocktails.com.
And Hannah will be back with us next week with
We miss
more.
you, Hannah.
Bye.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.